Hi, and welcome once again to our show In Our Teens, a show that brings together parents, teenagers, and experts to help us understand the remarkable journey of teenage. In my guest chair today, Dr. Nirmala Kelmani, HOD and Professor at Sri Hingulambika Ayurvedic College, Gulbarga. आज बात करेंगे उनसे करियर्स इन आयुर्वेदा. Hi doctor and welcome to our show In Our Teens.
Hello.
It's so nice to have you. And I must tell our viewers that we are shooting here in Mumbai and ma'am has come all the way from Karnataka. So thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
So ma'am, जब मैं कहती हूँ आयुर्वेदा, what is the first thing that comes to your mind?
Ayurveda, the first thing what we have learned from right from the beginning of this course, Ayurveda it consists of two words, Ayu and Veda. So Ayu, as everybody know, that it is life, and Veda is the knowledge. So where you get the knowledge of the life as such is Ayurveda. So anything and everything about the life, totally, it comes in Ayurveda.
Okay.
So that is what we get the definition.
So ma'am, when I spoke to you on Zoom call when we were discussing this episode, तब आपने कहा कि बहुत teenagers अभी आयुर्वेदा as their base in terms of their career choose कर रहे हैं. तो उसके बारे में आप कुछ बताएंगे. आप खुद HOD हैं.
Yes.
So you know it better.
Yeah, because now we are people have become aware of this Ayurveda. Though it was since ages it was there, but people were fascinated more towards the modern medicine. And now once the corona existed, it came into existence. So that time they realized that okay, fine, Ayurveda is the one solution where we can get a good remedy without any complications and without any side effects. We can get with a minimal expenditures we can get cured, and they realize that what is available in the nature that itself is suitable for us, and we have to be with the nature, we have to go by the nature. So that is what they realized. And now of course for every diseases we are coming across now, maybe like lifestyle disorders, BP, like blood pressure. Correct. Or diabetes. Correct. Or in women we have come across obesity. Hormones. And hormonal problems, and also related with the heart problems. There are so many, and they have realized now that the long-standing, instead of taking a long-standing treatment, we can go for this change in the lifestyle. Instead of a treatment as such, let us change in the lifestyle and food style also. Correct. So they have realized that, and so they have come to the Ayurveda, and that Ayurveda is the one system which speaks about nature, which speaks about the life in total. So that is the science.
So ma'am, for teenagers, how would you tell them that a career in Ayurveda is as good as a career in any other medical stream?
Yes, definitely. Now it is available in different countries, even the other countries, the Western countries also, they have accepted that this is something, a science which can help us get rid of many diseases and forthcoming disorders also. And there has got good wide scope in other countries. So like even it is accepted well in Canada, USA, and even UAE countries also.
So studying Ayurveda here has also advantages and opportunities to move abroad.
Definitely. They have got the opportunities in the abroad, and also staying in the country also. Very few people we find practicing Ayurveda, but now they are into it, and they have got a good opportunity and good platform also now.
So ma'am, what is the right way for a student to get into this faculty? Like after 12th, after degree,
yes, after 12th they can go for this science, and as good as like they go for the MBBS, they have for the MBBS, they have to write the NEET exams, and they have to get through this, and throughout the nation they will be given the numbering, and depending on that ranking, they can go into this different degree colleges, government colleges or aided colleges, and even you have a lot more private colleges throughout the country. So they can go for this.
Ma'am, is government supporting this field?
Definitely.
For students especially?
Yes, definitely. Once they have completed their degree, after that they can go for the post graduation or even postdoctoral fellowship also, or they can go get into the research field also. We have a Central Council Research of Ayurveda and Siddha system,
Okay.
and they can go into the government, or they can even enter into some pharmaceutical company where research laboratories are available. They take up, they can assign themselves as research fellows, so they have got a good scope.
Ma'am, are parents very encouraging for kids to take up Ayurveda as a base of their career?
Right. Till now it was not so, but after this corona period, parents are also finding it interesting, and it is easy to get the seat also. It is not quite it's that difficult.
Correct.
And when it comes to the payment seat or the private colleges admission and all, it is quite less compared to the other system.
In terms of fee structure?
In terms of a fee
like
structure.
approximately what, ma'am?
Approximately, you will get the degree within 25-30 lakhs, not more than that.
Okay.
So 5.5 years study, it is as good as like MBBS, 5.5 years study, 4.5 years study will be there, 1 year internship will be there. So you will be a full-fledged Ayurvedic doctor.
Yes.
After 5.5 years.
Okay. And ma'am, we've done, teenagers want to do Ayurveda, parents are also supporting now. Are patients also interested in Ayurveda? Is there a
Yes.
growth in number of
Question.
people opting for Ayurvedic treatment?
Yeah, good question. Earlier, it was not so well accepted by the society, but now after I would like to say that Ramdev Baba became popular, and once they realized that yoga and Ayurveda go hand in hand, and they
Yes.
have come to know a few things about Ayurveda also along with the yoga. But now, after Corona, definitely they have also become aware of this science very much, and they are opting for this science only, the treatment. They have come to know that by taking the modern medicines, it is quite difficult to get rid of these diseases. So instead of suffering with the disease,
Yes.
they can get some comforts.
Correct.
At least. So with that intention, they are coming towards Ayurveda. And as my practice goes, as my experience, I would like to say that people are fed up taking the medicines, whatever it may be. Like maybe it is Ayurvedic medicine or allopathy or homeopathy, any system of medicine, but they are fed up of taking the medicines. They want something away from the medicine. If they can get set right with the food habits, that is even more better. They would like to.
And permanent.
Permanent. And if they can change with their lifestyles, that is even more acceptable. So they want that. And even they want some counseling like
Correct.
that. They don't want the medicine, but they want to come for counseling. So that helps them a lot.
Yeah. Motivation always helps.
Motivation is also required.
Yes, with medicines. More than medicines, it is
More than the
positivity and
medicine.
motivation
That's
that
right.
works.
Confidence, you have to build up in the patients that
Yes.
it can be cured. It cannot be cured, but you can live with that. But
Yes.
how well you can
You
live
can
with
live.
that science.
Yes.
That
Accepting it
also
and in a
matters
holistic
lot.
way.
And that is what is required by the patient now.
So, ma'am, I was saying Ayurveda is also closely related to yoga. That's what you
Yes.
said.
Very
Meditation,
much.
spirituality. So everything comes under one roof, right?
Definitely. Everything comes because we speak about yoga. In yoga also we speak about Ashtanga yoga.
Yes.
Like 8 steps are there.
Yes.
So leaving behind the niyama, niyama and life principles, the basic principles. By just doing the asana and the meditation, it will not help a lot. So you have to follow all the Ashtangas of yoga. Then only it is helpful. And the things which we come across in the yama, niyama and asana, before that asana like pratyahara, steps. So this is what is dealt in the Ayurveda.
Correct.
So we speak about the lifestyles, Ayurvedic principles. So yama, niyama and pratyahara, it contains these life principles.
It means that it is सिर्फ जरूरी नहीं कि आप आयुर्वेदिक मेडिसिन खाएं और ठीक हो जाएं. The
नहीं.
problem है लाइफ के नियम भी फॉलो करने होंगे.
Definitely.
उसके साथ उस तरह की एक्सरसाइज भी फॉलो करनी होगी. मतलब पूरी तरह से हम जो अभी तक जीते आए हैं
Holistic
उस होलिस्टिक वे में उसे बदलना होगा. जैसे गेटिंग अप अर्ली, स्लीपिंग अर्ली.
Dinacharya, we call it as
Dinacharya.
a Dinacharya and a Rutucharya. So one has to follow the daily regimens. So if he can follow the daily regimens, right, as you spoke about getting up early in the morning, so that matters a lot. People, they know that you have to take 8 hours of a good sleep and you have to work. But 8 hours of a good sleep, whether it is in the night sleep or a day sleep, they do not bother about that. They speak about only 8 hours of sleep. But what is required is 8 hours of night sleep is required. And day, you have to get up early in the morning. That we call it as a Brahmi Muhurta,
Yes.
that which is one and
Before
a half years, half
half
hours
hour.
before the sunrise.
Yes.
So that is must ensure. So if you can get up by that time, definitely you will be avoiding many diseases.
Yes.
And if you have the disease also, you can set right by this adopting this principle.
Yes. And also makes your
And,
brain sharper.
Yes, definitely.
Especially for students.
Students, even for the youngsters, young
Yes.
adults also. Everyone for that matter,
Yeah.
except for those who are bedridden, except for what you call Kumara we call it as where they are very nazuk.
Yeah.
So only tender people or child also.
Yes.
So leaving these people, the rest of the individuals,
Have to get
whoever
up
is quite fit, they have to get up in the early morning.
So, ma'am, do certain cancers also have found a cure in Ayurveda?
Yes, we can equate it with this word cancer with the Arbuda. So we have a separate chapter dealt with the Arbuda Chikitsa. So we do have certain remedies for this cancer.
Okay. And how are the results, ma'am? The results of Ayurveda medicine? Like out of 100%, at what percent do we find results of Ayurveda medicines?
Results are actually 100% only when you diagnose it properly and you are able to assess the patient properly. We call it as Rogi and Roga Pariksha.
Correct.
So Rogi Pariksha is patient. You have to identify the patient first. And then the Roga Pariksha, you have to diagnose it properly. Then definitely the medicine will work. And if you are not able to assess the disease in them, definitely you are somewhere wrong. So your medicine will not work.
Correct. So both patient and doctor have to be in tune with each other.
We have certain factors to be assessed.
Okay.
So assessment, if it is right, then you are on the right path and you get the right results.
Correct.
So if you cannot assess and you go somewhere wrong, either the wrong, if it is done by the rogi, there is a patient, or by the doctor, or by the medicine, how the process, how you do the medicine, how you manufacture the medicine. Depending on that also, the results vary. So everything is perfect, then definitely 100% results is there.
So ma'am, when I say Ayurveda and teenagers, what's your first thought?
Ayurveda as a teenager in the career oriented?
No,
or,
career,
health,
we know that we just spoke about career.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, today's teenagers have more health problems
Yes, definitely.
than the adults.
Yes.
There is PCOD. Okay, there is eyesight problem because
Yes.
too much of screen time.
Yeah.
Then there is hair problem, skin problem. There are problems. So when I say teenagers and Ayurveda, what is the first thing that comes to your mind?
So whether it is for the teenagers or even adults or anybody for that matter, Ayurveda what it speaks is you have to know the cause for that. For any disease, it is not the treatment you have to give. First treatment what goes is you have to avoid those causative factors. So if you say that, as you said, that eye problems because of the screen
Time or some
screen
deficiency.
time, that you have to avoid that, or you have to stop that, or you have to see to it that you avoid seeing the screen more number of times. So that is first remedy. It becomes a first remedy. And then second thing is, if possible, you have to change in your food style and in your lifestyle. And third thing comes the treatment. So if you can set right over here, treatment is just a 10% effort that is required. Otherwise, it is within you only. You spoke about the PCOD problems. Once again, the PCOD problem is related with the lifestyle disorder. It's a lifestyle only.
Okay.
So you change your lifestyle, definitely PCOD problem will not be there. Why?
Ma'am, lifestyle in what way?
Lifestyle
For
in the sense, I know
example,
students we see now, they sleep till 8 o'clock in the morning and wake up till 12 or 1 o'clock in the night. And they don't have much good time of sleep, and they don't eat properly also.
Balanced meal.
Morning they'll get up late and they'll not have anything for breakfast or even anything, and then they attend the classes. And the schedule now, the school timing schedule, it is from 9 to 6. So all these hours student will be sitting. Earlier days, I don't think like it was like that. Only study. It was not like that.
No.
They used
School
to have some
was
fun
7
time.
to 12:30.
Yeah, 7 to 12:30. And even if it is long hours, but still they had some sport
Yes.
period and some free time, everything they had. Now it is not so. Some hobby periods were also there, some activities were taken up, and now it is not so. They are just, studying, sitting in the classroom and studying. That is what they are doing now.
Correct.
So that also matters a lot.
Sedentary lifestyle.
We call it a sedentary lifestyle. And they come home, again they'll start doing their homework, sitting only. And even if they have the fun time, they just watch the TV or laptop or mobile, something like that. they don't want to get into the field or a ground and then play. So if that
somewhere, ma'am,
activity,
physical activity has
with
become
that physical
less.
activity, if it is not there, definitely that sedentary life will bring some problems. So PCOD is one problem because of this sedentary life. So if they can get over this sedentary life, definitely. Second thing is the food style. They are hungry, but they do not want to take the home food. They want to take the ready foods, packed foods, or even street foods. So they are into it. So definitely it is not nutritious, and it again leads to the health problems.
Yes.
So this is another thing.
Because we are mapping cholesterol in kids also now.
Yes, that is because of definitely because of the junk foods
Yes.
they are having. So if they can avoid this junk
And also
foods,
sugar, ma'am.
yes, sugar
Excess
is another
sugar.
one. I keep telling my patients, or either any of them for that matter, 5 things should be avoided. Five whites should be avoided. One is the maida, the other one is the white rice, the other one is the sugar, white sugar, and the other one is the milk. Also, we advise not to take the A1 milk. And the
Ma'am,
other
what's the theory behind not taking milk? Is our system not designed to
because
digest it?
yes, this is not probably not possible for the individual to digest it very well. As you know,
Human is the
Maida-
only person who drinks other animals' milk.
that is also there. As one of our Kadir sir, he keeps telling that you're not supposed to drink milk.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
But it's good to have curd.
Yeah, it's good to have the curd because it is probiotics.
Yes.
It contains the probiotics.
Yes.
And Ayurveda also speaks about this. Even curd you are supposed to take only in the daytime and
Yes.
not in the night.
Not after
and
sunset.
buttermilk is acceptable in any time.
Yes.
But curd is to be taken only in the day. and
Ma'am,
not
why
at night.
curd in the day, but buttermilk, which is made by curd, can be taken
Of
anytime?
course. How do we prepare the curd? Like it is a whole milk.
Yes.
Next, the whole curd is there,
Yes.
and it is quite difficult to digest. And if you take it in the night, it becomes heavy. It is not digestible. But the buttermilk, what you prepare, you will be like there is a right proportion also said in Ayurveda. 1 part of the curd and 4 parts of the water should be mixed well and churned well, and then you have to consume the buttermilk. So when you are adding the water, definitely it gets diluted, and it becomes, when you churn it, the bacteria gets
Distributed
everywhere, and it acts as it's called as a probiotics, and which is very much required by our system, digestive system. So it is very
मैम हम तो उल्टा
definitely-
बोलते हैं कुक को बटर मिल्क बनाना एकदम गाढ़ा बनाना
it is not so. Ayurveda speaks about this proportion also.
Yes, I will make this correction, ma'am.
Yeah.
Really. When you talk about proportion has to be in terms of your entire diet in the day as well.
That is also there. And we don't speak about the grams, in terms of grams or weight, kilos.
So how do we eyeball the proportion, ma'am, in our plate? For
Yeah.
teenagers especially.
Okay, fine. If you can digest the food within 3.5 hours, then that is a good proportion.
Okay.
If you are not able to digest it properly within 3.5 hours, then it is quite heavy for you.
We
And
ate
if
more.
if you feel hungry even before 3 hours, that means you are not taken the sufficient quantity of
You took less
food.
proportion of it.
So that depends upon your Agni. So
Correct.
we speak about the Agni, digestive fire, what we call. So it depends upon that. And not 2 days, a matter of 1 or 2 times you take the food, you will be able to understand what is your capacity. And you have to stick on to that. And Ayurveda also speaks that you have to take only 2 times of food.
Yes.
And people say, you keep taking oftenly food and you feel
After every
energetic.
2 hours.
Yeah, every 2 hours, 2.5 hours, you have to keep eating every now and then. No, it doesn't speak about that. The famous saying is also there: if you eat 1 time, you become a yogi. If you eat 2 times, you become a bogi. And if you eat 3 times, you become definitely a rogi.
Which is true, ma'am.
Yeah.
क्योंकि ज्यादातर बीमारियां ज्यादा खाने से ही होती
ज़्यादा
है.
खाने से ही होते हैं. एंड अक्सर ऐसे पेशेंट्स पूछते रहते हैं कि हमको ये छोड़ देंगे, दूसरा खाएंगे, क्या खाएंगे, हमको क्या खाना रहता है, ऐसा दर्द हो रहा है तो इसके लिए क्या खाना है, बोन बढ़ाने का है तो इसके लिए क्या खाना है, मांस बढ़ाने का है तो क्या खाने का है. वैसे नहीं है. बिना कुछ खाए ही बहुत कुछ कर सकते हो आप लोग. अभी खाना बहुत हो गया, अब कम करने का है. दिस इज द टाइम यू हैव टू रिड्यूस योर इनटेक. Because you are taking something, you want to stop that and you want to switch on to something else. No, it's not like that. What you are taking, home food, that is fine. With that you are fine. Better you reduce the amount of taking it if you are feeling some what you call heaviness, or if you are feeling laziness because of that. So reduce your quantity, not adding something else.
Ma'am, is fasting also a segment of Ayurvedic treatment?
Yes, it's a part of the treatment. But even more than that, I would like to say, because Ayurveda says that Langanam Paramaushadam, that is the ultimate treatment you can have. So people, and one simple example I would like to say, if you are suffering with a fever, what we do is, okay, you are not able to taste anything, you are not able to eat anything, please eat this, eat that. Actually, you are supposed to fast. If you fast for more than 6 7 hours or 8 hours until you feel hungry, you do not take anything at all, not even a water also. So if it is possible, then definitely your fever will come down. If you don't do that, you keep on adding something or the other, at least a tea, or at least a coffee, at least a bread, at least a biscuit, something like that. It makes heavy to digest. So
So
you are not
body is
able to
putting more effort
more effort to digest these things, and it is not able to concentrate on the factor which is responsible for
to
this
fight against fever.
So that is Langanam Paramaushadam, it is said. For every disease it applies. Until unless you are weak, you are not able to, you are lying on the bed for a long period, you are advisable to fast. But the rest of the people who is working well, doing well in their daytime life, they are supposed to fast. At least once in a week, you are supposed to undergo this fasting. It cleans up your body, it detoxifies your body, it takes out all the rubbish things what is settled in your body. So
Maybe that is the reason why the Hindu scriptures advise fasting Ekadashi, Sankashti, Chaturthi, so that at regular intervals you keep your stomach
definitely
light.
every 15 days,
Every
Ekadashi,
15 days.
totally, if you are able to do the fasting the whole day, it is the very good concept you have. If not, you can go for water. If not, even you can go for some fruits. If not, then you can go for some snacks. That is the ultimate. So if it's possible by you to fast for more than 24 hours, that's a very wonderful thing.
Ma'am, does fasting also help in diabetes, lowering the risk of diabetes?
Yes, of course. People have a wrong notions. They think that once you are a diabetic, you are supposed to eat every now and then because you lose your glucose level, and the glucose level in the blood comes down fast, and so you need to maintain that sugar level. So you will have to take up every 2 hours. It is not so. If you are okay, you have landed on with diabetes, and your age is just 35 or 40 years or 45 years, even 45 years.
It is even seen in children now.
Yes, of course. If it is possible for you to take only two food, as I told you, Ayurveda says to take only two foods. If you are possible to take this only 2 times food, that is done. That is well. Even with the diabetes, it is not mandatory that you are supposed to eat very oftenly. So it is not acceptable. Even nowadays, the doctors, every doctor is speaking about that now. Earlier, it was like that. They had thought that every 2 hours you are supposed to eat. No, it is not so. Even every doctor will accept that eating too much will end up once again to a complication of diabetes, and not it will not help you out with the diabetes. So eating only 2 times and doing this intermittent fasting, or even fasting on Ekadashis, definitely will help diabetic patients. I have come across in my own, my own family members who are taking a more number of medicines, more than 10 to 12 tablets each time in a day. We have reduced the intake of these medicines, and we have seen only with the 2 tablets, that's more than enough. That is with to combat with the diabetes, and only to help the individual to maintain the vitamin level.
Correct.
So one multivitamin and one anti-diabetic drug, that is more than enough, and they are doing well. As they were doing earlier, they are able to do it more better now. They are living healthily, because when they were taking lots of medicines, they experienced that they had either mouth ulcers, they had some acidity problems, they
The
had
side effects of
constipation
medication.
problem. They were every day they used to have one or the other problems, and now everything is okay with only 2 tablets.
Ma'am, Ayurveda in COVID times?
It has worked a lot, wonders. Because we have seen, I want to mention the name of that person. He's from Gujarat. He's our professor. He's called as Dr. Hitesh Jani. He had given a try on these Ayurvedic medicines during the Corona period, and with just one single medicine, you will be shocked to hear that, just with the ginger powder, dry ginger powder, he was able to prevent the attack of the corona disease. And we followed him even in our state also, Karnataka, because I handled the North Karnataka region, 7 districts. Throughout these 7 districts, I had supplied the same dry ginger powder, which had worked wonderfully. and we had a helpline calls also at that time, and I used to advise them to take only this dry ginger powder. You have to inhale the dry ginger powder through the nose, and just put a pinch of dry ginger powder over the tongue, and keep it in the tongue, over the tongue, and you have to swallow bit by bit like saliva, and that has worked. Before going out, you just have to inhale it through the nostrils. That's it, and it will help you once in a day, and that we have followed, and we could work well in corona period.
Ma'am, I still remember my grandmother used to have these plants, tulsi, pudina, you know, that ajwain ka leaves ka bhaji she used to make, aloe vera. And so every medication was available in the backyard.
Yes.
You know, cinnamon leaf.
Yes. So you have so many things within the kitchen also, and in the backyard also.
Ma'am, little spotlight on it.
I have taken up this task last since 18 years. I'm doing it as a home garden, kitchen garden concept, and now it has taken up a boom. So now what I do is in my college I have made up a nursery. Nearly about 20-25 plants which can be grown in the kitchen garden only, backyard only, and which can also be grown in small pots, and it has got a very good results. And for common ailments where we can take up this plants, utilize these plants, those plants I am doing nurseries. So it is all known plants only, like tulsi, aloe vera, ajwain plant, pudina plant, and you have some
lemongrass,
lemon tree as such. It can be grown in a good size of pot. So these plants which can be grown very easily and can be utilized, as you said, in a cough and cold and all. Tulsi acts very effectively. Even aloe vera, you know, we have so many skin problems and some psoriatic like conditions. And even in case of arthritis, now in every house you have people suffering with arthritis.
Yes.
Earlier it was diabetes. Diabetes is common, and now it is arthritis, which elderly people are facing. So in that arthritis also, instead of going for painkillers, you can utilize this aloe vera. Just heat it over the tawa, and when it is warm, you apply it to the affected parts. It definitely cures. You just apply it and sit in the sun early morning hours. It also helps. So instead of taking the painkillers and getting your liver affected with that, some complications, liver complications, instead you can go for this aloe vera. That will definitely help you. And pudina, where you have some indigestion problems, digestive problems, loss of taste and such a thing. So pudina can be eaten. And we have now in our garden, like I have put nearly about 20-25 plants. Every early morning, you just take one leaf of each of these plants. One tulsi, one bit of aloe vera, and one pudina, and one betel leaf, and one bilwa patra, we call it.
Yes, bilwa patra.
That. And one ajwain and one patanchur. That is also patanchur in the sense pattarchur it is called. It's also similarly like that of ajwain, and it acts wonderfully in your kidney stones or urinary stones. So one leaf, that one insulin plant is also there. One insulin leaf. One amrutavalli, we call it as giloy. Tinospora. That leaf. You know, these are all together. If you chew it, you don't need a breakfast at all. So each one leaf, it comes up to 10 to 12 leaves at a time. You have to chew it. You will not face any problems at all. So many complications, daily common ailments, that you can get rid of this.
That's why after a meal, having a betel leaf was so important to aid digestion.
Ayurveda used to tell you at least 6 to 8 times in a day you are supposed to eat this pan.
Correct.
Pan how? With the betel nut, betel leaf, and a small amount of calcium, and along with that you can go for a lavang or ilaichi or even jaifal. So many ingredients are there. All put together, you should have the pan.
Yes.
After food, definitely you should have it. So that helps in the digestion. It also provides you calcium. At the age of 40-45 years, you can see now every woman, you know, you have some problem, you approach a doctor, they'll advise you to take one iron tablet and one calcium tablet.
Correct.
Okay, Indian women especially. So instead, if we cultivate this habit of taking the pan every day, pan in the sense this pan, not with the
पान वाले का गुलकन डाल के
गुलकन भी डाल सकते हैं, ऐसा भी गुलकन की घर का बनाया हुआ गुलकन, अच्छी तरह से बनाया हुआ गुलकन, yes, definitely it works. So all this together, at least 6 to 8 times, if not at least 2 times. I told you 2 times after food, you can have the pan where can compensate your calcium deficiency.
Wow, मैम, so much information. आपको साइड में बिठा के ना सब रिकॉर्ड करके देना पड़ेगा so that you know. So many things available, and it's amazing what you're doing with propagating these plants to people so that they can follow it and understand that cure is available right there in your house.
Yes.
Ma'am, your daughter was in her teenage phase.
Yeah.
So as a parent, as a mother, आप क्या बोलना चाहेंगी? How you both manage that phase? Because बहुत difficult phase होता है parents और
Yeah.
बच्चों के लिए भी.
Teenage phase, I was actually, I did not realize that, okay, she is teenage, I have to take care much about her and all. I thought to be very much near to her, what should I do? I just thought, because how can I be very much near to her? And I utilized my degree, what I had done my PG diploma yoga in that time. So what I thought is, let me take an initiative. I went to the school. I talked to the principal. I told that I can teach yoga for your students, which is very much needed now, and can handle 1 hour for your students. And he said it was very nice to hear that. He said, okay, fine, you can come over there. So I just approached my own daughter's school, and I talked to the principal. He accepted. Every day I used to go to the school. That way I could come in contact with the school teachers, and I taught the yoga to other students also, and I could see her also at that time. So in this way I started developing a good relation with the teachers and all. So I came to know everything about her and all. So she was doing well with the studies and everything. And regarding her health aspect, what the teenagers usually face, she did not have such problems, because I tell you, right from the conception, right when I was pregnant, I had followed this yoga Ayurvedic principles during that time, from that time. So she did not face any such problems. She was very good, a healthy baby. I delivered a healthy baby, and even after delivery also, like after she was born, I used to give only Ayurvedic medicines. I used
Like,
to follow
what,
all the
ma'am?
traditional practices.
Correct. Like
What, like soon after the birth, they give some medicines which are herbal medicines only, in the form of paste. They give to
Good
the
tea.
child.
Yeah.
Yeah, good tea. They call it as a good tea. So that was followed, and oiling the baby completely was followed. All those traditional practices related with the bringing up a child. Okay, that was followed, and so she was very healthy, and I hardly used any medicines, modern medicines for her. So in that way, she was very strong. And every day, my husband used to give her, badam paste, as she developed eating something.
Yes.
So after 6-8 months, we used to give her the paste of a badam every day morning. We used to give her. So that way, she got a good sturdy bones. So she did not face any such problems. Maybe a very less number of times she used to have some periods problem, menstrual problems, cramps now and then. Abdominal cramps. So at that time, even then I did not use any modern medicine, but I used to give her only warm water. The day she expected her periods, early morning, I used to make her drink warm water for 3 or 4 days continuously, once in a day, and that has worked wonderful for her. So she did not experience that abdominal cramps. This method, she has adopted herself in her degree
Okay.
college, where the students used to have this abdominal cramps and irregular periods,
Yes.
which are very common. And because of this irregular periods, their mental status was not maintained, and they were disturbed mentally. So that was also got rid of. She could manage that with the
Warm water.
with this tip, warm water. And I used to guide these students like that. And other method is like, if it does not get reduced by the warm water, I used to advise them to go for a pudina juice. Pudina, like a bunch of pudina, you have to divide it in 3 parts and take out all the leaves, clean it well, and then grind it, make it a paste, and take the juice out of that
Okay.
pudina. Maybe around 20 to 30 ml of pudina early morning for 3 consecutive days. If you take this, it will reduce your abdominal pain, and next time you will definitely get in a proper time. Then if it is a irregular period, you will get a regularized period menses, and that I have observed in most of the teenagers.
So much information today.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Even I'm the same over here.
Yeah,
Because I could share some of my experiences
Yes.
over this channel, and if anybody is getting benefited by
Benefited.
this, definitely I'll be happy to hear that. And even for more tips, if you want, I'm ready to
Yes.
give you the service. Likewise.
Yes.
And please, my advice is stick on to your traditional practices, traditional knowledge. If you have somebody elders in your house, the advice to the public I would like to give: if you have any elders in your house, you please ask them what they used to practice in such situations, such simple situations. फीवर आया, कोल्ड कॉफ आया, नहीं तो पेट का कुछ अपसेट हो गया पेट में, और नहीं तो कुछ सर दर्द आया, नींद नहीं आ रहा है, और कुछ ऐसे बहुत सारे कंप्लेंट्स रहता है. उन सब कंप्लेंट्स को कैसे हैंडल करते थे वो लोग. हर एक चीज़ के लिए सिंपल प्रॉब्लम्स के लिए डॉक्टर्स को अप्रोच करना ये सही बात नहीं है. पर एक दो दिन का प्रॉब्लम रहा, यू गिव अ ट्राई at home, then if
will
it doesn't reduce, if it doesn't work, then you can approach definitely a doctor. So this is my request to all the viewers.
Ma'am, is there a page where our viewers can follow you for such wonderful tips?
Yeah, they can follow me in the Facebook.
Rest ma'am's details and is there in the description, so you can get more information about that. Ma'am, thank you for being on our show. And a little something, your favorite plant.
Yeah.
But it's not medicinal, it's a prosperity one.
Thank you.
This is for you, ma'am.
Very much.
And thank you so much for being with us today. Ayurveda is such a wonderful science that we already have. And I hope many people embrace it.
Yes. I also hope that they embrace this science and they give respect to this science.
Yes.
Because it is our science.
It is ours.
Thank you.
आज के लिए बस इतना ही. मिलेंगे आपसे अगले एपिसोड में. तब तक के लिए do not forget to like, share and subscribe. Thank you.